Welcome back to JB Reviews. On my left I have a 2023 Ram 1500 and a 2023 Chevy Silverado 1500. They both have their versions of their diesels on the side, as you can see there. And we're going to see who has the better powertrain. We're going to talk about as much as possible. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Special shout out to Jerry Seiner Chevrolet for allowing me to do this video with their truck, and Larry H. Miller right here in Sandy, Utah, for allowing me to borrow this truck. Be sure to check out their inventory. They have a ton of trucks. There's great incentives on these pickups right now too, so perfect time to buy. Let's get into it. Let's go ahead and get all the easy stuff out of the way. So let's look under the hood of the Ram and then we'll check out the Chevy. This is the third iteration of the EcoDiesel, so they have definitely done some great enhancements on this engine. As far as the power goes, it's going to have 260 horsepower, 480 pound-feet of torque, which is down low at about 1600 RPMs. And this truck can tow about 9,600 pounds with this setup here. For 2023, GM decided that they really want to go all in with their diesel option. So this truck got a power bump like ridiculously. So this thing now has 305 horsepower, 495 pound-feet of torque. Like, that is insane. So the EcoDiesel did have the Duramax beat on horsepower, but this has always been the torque leader here, and that's what you really want when you're looking at these diesels, especially if you plan on towing. Now, as far as the towing capacity goes, I do like how GM does give it to you on the side of the door. So you're going to have a towing capacity of 9,000 pounds with this setup here. And it has about 1,661 pounds of payload capacity. Compared to Ram's, it has 1,620. And as far as the price point goes, this is a Bighorn. $61,260 is the price, and here are the fuel economy numbers right here. So 24 combined with 29 on the highway, 21 in the city. Now, as far as the sale price on this one, this is going to be an LT. It's $59,490, and this truck here is showing 24 combined as well. However, the city is a little bit higher, but the highway is a little bit lower for the Duramax diesel. As far as transmissions go, the EcoDiesel is mated to an 8-speed trans, and as far as the axle ratios go, it does come standard with a 321 rear, but you do have the option to go to a 392. On the other hand, Chevy does give you a 10-speed transmission, and in the next video I do with these trucks, I will show you guys fuel economy and RPMs. So be sure to subscribe and make sure your bell notifications are on for that next video. And then here's some of the specs for the 10-speed here. I do notice that this is the only axle ratio available for the EcoDiesel. You cannot click the 342 because it makes you remove the diesel. There is a towing package too, and I was under the impression that they did allow you to add this package, but if you do click here, it'll allow you to select a tire, but unfortunately it will delete the diesel engine and make you pick a 5.3 liter V8. So like I said, we got all the easy stuff out of the way. All right, so let's get into the weeds a little bit. So what makes the EcoDiesel a good option for you? So if you don't know, this engine has been refreshed 3 times. They've made it better and better from what I can see. Now, as far as the engine design, this is going to be a V6, and although V6s have been around for a long time, I do like the inline 6 that the Chevy has. However, here's one of the strengths that the EcoDiesel has. This is using a compacted graphite iron bottom end. Now, why is that important? The compacted graphite iron is a little bit lighter compared to, an iron block, obviously, but it has this strength behind it. So the Ford PowerStroke diesel and the Cummins both have compacted graphite iron. Now, the Duramax diesel does use an aluminum block, which is going to have the lightweight advantages, but as far as strength goes, I really do think that the compacted graphite iron is the way to go, especially that we know that the HD trucks are using that, and the top HD trucks too at that. Now, one thing I love about this engine that I just mentioned was that this has an inline 6 design, which means it's balanced, and it does incorporate 7 main bearings, 1 main between each rod. This means the forged steel crankshaft in GM's 3-liter diesel, it ain't going nowhere. It also doesn't need a bed plate like the V6 behind me does. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, they did revise this Duramax diesel. So they did some updates to the turbo. It has new pistons with a revised combustion bowl and a new fuel injector system. And that's pretty much what helped give it the power increase, which is besting the Ram behind me. Now, one thing I want to talk about is fuel pumps. So this truck does have a Denso supplied one. In the past, they were using the Bosch CP4, and although the Bosch CP4 is a great fuel pump in Europe, because of the diesel standards here in America, I would recommend going with this option because the Denso one supplied in this truck is a lot better. Now, like I said, the CP4 is not terrible. The only thing is, you're gonna have to really be mindful where you get your diesel from. For example, if I were to buy this truck, which I definitely would, if I couldn't find a Duramax diesel, I would really go to places that have a 50 cetane or higher diesel rating. If I could not find that, I would always keep a diesel additive in my truck, just, you know, to put in every other fuel. That way you keep that fuel pump lubricated. I know a lot of people say that that's not why the pump fails, but that is one of the biggest reasons why it does fail. So now you guys pretty much understand that these are both robust powertrains, especially down low in the bottom end. And they are also using the common rail injection technology that the HD segment uses. And both engines are using a forged steel crankshaft and connecting rods. They also utilize lightweight cast aluminum pistons too. Now, the compression for the GM is a little bit lower. It is going to have a 15-to-1 compression, and on the EcoDiesel it is a 16-to-1. And I want you guys to know that I'm not an engineer, so I can't truly go into deep detail of a lot of stuff, but what I can tell you is with compression, higher compression typically means more power while using less fuel. That's like the best way I can explain it. Most of your diesel engines are gonna have 15-to-1 compression. Typically cars can have 9-to-1, 10-to-1 in that ballpark. But that's pretty much all I want to go over in this video. Now, here's the deal. All of this doesn't mean anything. We need to do an acceleration test, and we also need to do a fuel economy run too. It's a windy day. What I'm going to do in the next video is I'm going to put these two trucks up against each other, and we're going to see which truck can return the best fuel economy. So you don't want to miss this video. Be sure to subscribe, turn on the bell notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next one.